Hi, this is Nancy McClellan with Design Inventions, and I'm going to color these two cactus with some Copic markers today. These are really large images to color. I have been working on a couple of them, and I've stamped them all with different kinds of ink. I stamped this image here with some black ink, and I don't know if you can see or not, but I put some texture in there by using a little bit of a cloth here, a towel, and some Copic blending solution. So I did this one, and the other one I did was in this basic cactus was stamped with, actually I did it with Distress ink, the antique linen. So I did that, and as you go into it, it's such a large image and trying to get things to blend. This one was colored with YG91, and then it was colored with Y28 and YG93. So I did both of them in the same color families. I think that this one just comes out differently because of the way that I stamped it with something, you know, with the beige ink, the antique linen. And I went back in, and you can see on this particular cactus that as I colored these, you really don't see all the lines in the cactus. So I just kind of flicked in some lines with my marker. So it's just kind of practicing on these. Now what I was going to do was actually take a little different approach. These have been done in Memento Pesto is what I, no, that's not, it's in Pistachio. So that's the color I did those in, just to see what they would look like. I just believed at one point some of the ones that I had done, I stamped several images here, and when I did them, I thought they looked a little harsh in black, but I still have some images here in black that I can do. So I stamped several things. Okay, I tested out some different colors that I wanted to use. So I thought what I would do is maybe do these in green, just a basic green to see what happened and how well they blended out. So we would have, I'm going to move this one to the side, and I do have this darker piece of just mat board here. I usually color on this because it's absorbent, and I always color on something when I'm using my Copics. So what we have here is, okay, we have, as I try to make them so that you can see them, there's my, I pulled out the 82 because I like the 82. I think the 46 is going to be a little bit too green. I will also pull out a blending block just in case, and I can use the insides of my caps if I need to. So I'm going to color this guy, and I'm going to start, and I'm going to color this from dark to light. Or at least I'm going to start dark here at the bottom. And just pull this ink up here. Now I'm using the G82 on this. Okay, now I'm going to do the 43, which is adding a little more color, just a little different type of color. And then we'll come back to the 40, which is really light, as you can see. Really light. And if you look at the top of this cactus, I believe the top of the cactus is going to be a little bit, I'd say lighter, because again, it's at the top. You're not getting near as much light. You know, it's not going to have as much light on it. So just kind of working my way back down again. And this is being such a large image, getting these long strokes and getting it to look right. Okay? I'm just kind of laying and I'm pulling all the way up. Okay? Now when I got to these on the arms, you know, with the color variation, you know, we're going to have to kind of come out here and try to pull this up. And I'm using a pretty flat tip, and I'm thinking that this is going to be relatively dark. Now, what you can do is actually flick from here, and where this arm, you can kind of just have a darker spot there. Now, I'm going to pull this down from the top and just into that, and I'm going to go over here and do this on this side too. Just a little bit like this, okay? I'm going to take this again, it was just my darker color, and kind of move it up into it. I'm going to turn my image. I'm using a lot of the side of the marker here, a lot of the nib, a lot of the side of the brush. And again, I'm just kind of drawing a line, and then we can come back up and actually add some more into this. Now I'm going to pull this into that lighter color. Now again, this is a very, very green, kind of just a very neutral green. It's not got a lot of color. Now what I do have here, I do have a YG21 sitting here, and you can see where I'm kind of getting a different blues into colors, but I'm going to stick a little bit of this YG21 in there. I'm adding just kind of that highlight type on the top for some different color variations, bringing it in on the cactus. Just adding, because I think a cactus in general is going to have a lot of different colors, and you can see I'm just getting some striations through there, but I think a cactus would have, you know, it's not going to be perfect. Okay. Now I do still have here, I have a YG91. I don't know what it's going to do if I add it in here, but trying to, because it's kind of a darker one. But if I wanted to come through here, or even just emphasize some of these areas here in the cactus, just kind of come through and do that, I can do that. Okay. If I wanted to add a little bit more, because this is again a gray or dirty or something where it's going to be a little bit darker there at the bottom, but I can come in and kind of play with these little like V marks that are in the cactus and just add a little bit, and you can see it's giving just a little bit of highlight. Now I used on my other one the Y28, and I have a Y26 here. Just kind of, it's a kind of a test. I think this is a little dark, but again, I'm just kind of pulling these in a little at a time. Yeah, it's probably a little too heavy. This is the Y26, and actually it's probably matching the color a little better. So I've done that. I can kind of soften it. This is the G40, going back to that G40 series, and just kind of going over it and kind of playing with it a little bit. This image is large enough that you can kind of go over that. So that's that one done. So that's with the G40. I did a little bit of G82, a little bit of G43. Then I tipped those with the YG21. And I think actually the Y26 and or maybe the YG91 look good to add some of the V's in there. So you can see that by doing that, I can get two totally different looks. And probably for this particular image, I would say the no line coloring with the antique linen that I used is not the best one, because I believe we lose too much of the detail, and I can bring it back in there. But to me, I like the look of this because of the image and the size of the image. I like the fact that these two images, you know, they look totally different, but I like using at least something that I can see my detail. I will work a little bit on the card that I stamped in black, and the black one may be just matte, just be, you know, way too much. You know, I've got these other images, and I could probably do them with just a very light yellowy type of cactus. So I will play with some of these, and we'll see what they look like.